Hi guys, and welcome to my 14th online commentary battle. This is a nice little 2 versus 2 31k rules. I'm playing as the Skippy and I'm playing alongside Ibros clan, and we're going to be playing against two Heaven members. So we've got Lucius playing as the Greeks, and Mercury playing as the Julii. So a nice little 4 versus 4, a bit easier to commentate as there's only 4 members playing rather than having 4 versus 4. So on this game, I brought my standard build. Even though I'm facing the Greeks, I've brought 14 Urbans, 1 Legendary First Cohort and 5 Praetorian Cav. My kind of idea for this game was basically to use our forces together with Brutii of Ibros to rush Mercury. If we could knock out the Julii forces early on, that would basically mean that the Greeks would be isolated on their own. So I'll quickly introduce Ibros's forces. Let's quickly pause it for a second. He has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Praetorian Cav and 15 Urbans. If we look here, Mercury, he has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Praetorian Cav, and it looks like, yep, 14 Urbans. And then if we look at Lucius, he has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Cretan archers. And over on this flank here, he's got 2 Jav Cav, which is probably going to keep towards the end for any flank attacks. He's got 2 what are these Greek hoplites, and they're going to be used as peeler fodder. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 Spartans, which are basically going to be the bread and butter of the Greek army. So you can see straight away, I asked Ibros to rush with me. I'm going to move my forces over to this side here and try and get a flank attack. Lucius is doing a great little thing here. He's peeled off a couple of his units, pikes, to intermingle with Mercury's forces. That will basically prevent any frontal cav charges, because if we try and charge through, we're going to get impaled upon these Greek spears. So I'm moving my guys around the side here. So you can see Ibros has got the bulk of his forces at the front here. A few guys there to fend off the Greeks. One of my units are getting snagged up on their Mercury's forces. I'm going to try and disengage them and try and get them to come around here. What I want to do is throw some peeler into these tight formation units here of Mercury. And I'm going to move my guys forward. So again, we're playing quite aggressively here. Whilst this is going on, the Cretans are firing some archers at us, but not going to do too much damage. So I've got the bulk of my guys here, and I've got my right wing coming around the side here. Hopefully I can try and fend off this cav here. Again, Ibros is doing an excellent job here supporting me. He's got his cav around the side here. We're causing Lucius to maneuver around the back. Not Lucius, Mercury to push back. In the meantime, the Greeks, the main forces over there, are pretty static. I'd say we've got the upper hand here with the attack. I'm moving my guys here to engage Mercury's forces as well as Lucius. Now I'm probably going to do a cav charge any moment here and try and sneak through these pike units which are on either side. So if I go straight into the pike units, I'm going to get impaled. So in I come for a bit of a cav charge here. I'm going to try and cause this unit to rout, which, will that happen? It should hopefully rout. Nope. I'm going to pull my guys back because now I'm getting impaled upon the the Spartans, but the Spartans have dropped down their pikes, so they're now into their secondary attack, which is the sword, which is going to be more forgiving on my Praetorian cav. So it looks like we're coming around the side here. I'm going to pull out my cav to this side. In comes Ibros with another cav charge on these Spartans, but he's going straight into these pikes. I'm going to try and do a bit of a slice charge here. If you can see, I'm going to try and charge down the lines here of Mercury. Hopefully second time lucky I can cause a bit of a rout. But Lucius does a great job in supporting his clanmate there by sending in his pikes here to try and snag up my cav. My cav charge has worked and it has caused a couple of units to rout, as you can see. I'm going to try and pull them out here. And then I'm going to advance forward. I'm hoping that I can try and break these Julii units here. And now in comes Ibros with another little cav charge, and again that's causing Mercury's units to rout. Whilst this is all going on, the Cretans are taking a few shots at the cav, but if we act quick enough, I'm going to now bring in my guys for a cav charge on these isolated units that Mercury's got. I want to try and free up my allies' forces and quickly try and pull out my cav before Mercury comes in with a counter charge. Ibros is now going to bring down his cav here and probably charge in. As you can see now, yep, it's going to charge in. Another one of Mercury's units is now routed. So I was thinking about doing another cav charge, but I was contemplating in these Spartans here. If I was to charge in, I might get snagged upon them. But I do go for another little cav charge on Mercury's urbans here, which causes another little rout. Now I can see Lucius is getting his cav on the back there, so I'm going to try and pull out my cav here and make sure I don't get isolated. In comes Ibros with another little cav charge, probably trying to rout Mercury's general unit. I'm going to pull out these units here in a second, just to try and make sure I don't get a rear charge with these Praetorian cav. There we go. As you can see, I've pulled out my legendary first cohort, and I'm going to get charged by Mercury here. Now as he charges in, I'm going to run in a couple of my infantry units. I've got the first legendary cohort, which is going to bolster my morale. Even though one unit has routed, I'm hoping that this infantry unit would then swing it in my favour, which it has done. 1, 2, 3, 4 units have now routed. I'm going to use my cav to now try and chase down these Praetorian cav, because I don't want them to come back. Now Lucius has now brought in his cav, which is probably really heavily upgraded. They're probably going to try and do a couple of hammer and anvils on these isolated Brutii units. Looks like Mercury's guys have now come back. I did try and use my cav to try and chase them down, but they're now going to get isolated by these fresh militia cav or jav cav. I'm going to send in one of my urbans here just to try and assist, but Lucius has quickly pulled them out. And again, going to do another little charge on the back of these Brutii forces. And as you can see, these Spartans really are hanging in well there. I've got 1, 2, 3 units surrounded them. I'm trying to cause them to rout so I can free up these guys to bring them into the fight over here. Mercury still got a couple of cav units left, and they're going to use them to do some well-aimed cav charges. And it looks like he's charged them right into the Brutii. Now I'm going to throw in one of my urbans just to try and assist, and then try and use them to probably attack these Praetorian cav. In comes Mercury with another cav charge on these Roman Brutii soldiers. It's going to be very risky, and yes, he's managed to rout my ally's general, which is going to affect them around now for the whole of his army. He's got a few cav units left, but he's not going to be able to do much against these units here. He goes in for a bit of a charge. I've got one of my urbans, only about 3 urbans in that unit to try and support. I've eventually routed that Spartan unit that was over there. But Mercury's now boxing up, as you can see. We've got no peeler and we've got no archers, so he's going to be in a very safe position. He's going to throw in his archers and put them into the centre and make effectively a noob box, but there is a time and place for a noob box, and I'd say this is definitely the time to use it. Now it's going to be hard for me to punch a hole through these Spartans, so what I'm doing at the back here, putting a few of my units into Testudo, and then I'm going to put defense mode on and click over here, so hopefully my units can actually walk through these pike units. And the only problem is that we've got no cav now, so if we do engage forwards to any of these pikes, we're going to be really vulnerable against any counter charges with this militia cav. Even though they're not heavy cav, they're still going to be do a lot of damage, especially when they're only winded, and my guys are probably now tired or very tired, warmed up, and winded. So you can see these guys have put me into Testudo. I did notice that Lucius didn't put his pikes down. Now I wasn't sure if he was trying to bait me into attacking him, or maybe it might have been just a human error, but he's put his pikes down in time. I've tried to attack here right on the corner. I thought maybe I might be able to break through. Again, these guys are going to Testudo. I'm just trying to break through these lines, and we're hoping by breaking through that sometimes the Spartans do drop their spears. My general is leading the way, leading the attack, as you can see. Bit of a graphics glitch there, because it looks like he had a pike going right through his stomach. And now my general, he's routed. That's going to cause the morale for the rest of my units to break. In comes Mercury with a cav charge. I have noticed it. I'm going to try and pull out with this unit to try and counter, but it's going to be a bit too late. He goes in for a charge there. That causes them to rout. I've got 2 urbans that are still in the battle, but they're now surrounded. It's going to be pretty thick fighting, even though they've got Testudo on that mode. There's very little they can do. The only thing I'm hoping that I can do is attack a few of these Cretans and maybe get a few kills. We've pretty much lost this match. Yep, and that's it. All our units are now routed, and that's really well played with Lucius and Mercury there. I thought we were going to win that match, but looks like they pulled it back at the end there because we lost our cav. If we look at the stats, it's very 50-50. I've got 1,064 kills. My ally here 1,058 kills. Mercury 1,076 kills. So very even of us 3 there. But Lucius got in a whopping 1,810 kills. I imagine that's probably all of those pikes. They've probably managed to snag up our urbans as well as snagging up our cav. We really should have brought some archers to counter Greece, but we thought maybe we could rout Mercury and then isolate the Lucius on his own. But it shows you that tactics don't always work at the beginning. So it's an average defeat. Really well played there on the opposition there, Heaven and Lucius. Thanks again, guys, for watching this match. Hope you enjoyed it. Really tight game. Could have gone either way. If you look at all the dead bodies all over the battlefield, it shows you how intense that fight was. So once again, thanks again for watching. This is Biscuits signing out and wishing you all the best. Okay, bye now.